Howdy, howdy. My name is Joy, and you have found my little corner of Flosstube. Thank you so much for joining me, and thank you to everyone who's watched my videos and subscribed. It really means a lot that you're you're supporting me on this journey of never-ending whips. So, anyway, yeah. So, last week I had some projects. There were a couple that I didn't touch that I had on my list, and then there was one that I worked on for a bit but didn't get as much done as I wanted. So I'm just going to keep my rotation that I have from last week and see if maybe I can get a little bit more stitching time since we have a little break in our call to worship, which I'll tell you a little bit about that in a personal update at the end. But I have a couple week break, and then we're gonna go to Germany at the beginning of May. My brother-in-law, lives out there, and he's getting married. So we're gonna go hang out in Germany for a couple weeks. So I probably won't stitch it or do any videos then unless I take a couple projects with me, have some Germany stitching. Don't really know what that's gonna look like, but that's not until the beginning of May. We have plenty of time. It's only the beginning of April. So today is Tuesday, April 8th. And yeah, so let me show you what I have in my rotation. I'm gonna start with Whip Go. This month, the Whip Go numbers that were pulled were Victorian Autumn is one of them. This is artwork by Thomas Kincaid, charted by Heaven and Earth Designs. I don't have a ton of progress on this one. I got a decent amount last week. So this one's gonna stay out all month for me, but this is where I'm at. So I had taken some of these browns and brought them down. Yeah, and so I think I'm gonna keep working with this brown. I think this might be 3772, but I don't remember. But it's got a lot of fill-in up in here. And so I'm gonna work on that, try to get a little bit more coverage on it. And then, yeah, we'll see. So, and then my next Whip Go is Cabin Fever by Dimensions. This one I'm restarting. I still have not restarted it. I was in my closet and looking at what I had for fabric, and I actually have a 22 count hardinger that I'm currently using that for my Curiouser and Curiouser project, and I'm stitching 1/1 on that. And it's okay. I tried using it for Henry VIII by Heaven and Earth Designs, but it's just the way the stitches were laying and they were sliding underneath, and it was just, yeah, it was just not good. So but it might be perfect for a Dimensions project. So because, you know, Dimensions is Dimensions, they have a bunch of wonky counts, like this one. Yeah, it has combined color, 2 strands of one and 3 strands of another. So we're working with 5 strands there. There's a couple of 4 strand, there's 5 strand, any 6. Not really seeing any 6. Lots of 2s and 3s. Yeah, we got half cross. Oh my goodness, Dimensions. But I mean, that's the whole thing of it, right? It's Dimensions. They're, you know, they're projects that, you know, give really cool effects, like reflection on water and movement and stuff. So you have to have your, you know, full cross, half cross, you know, 5 strand combined half cross. So anyway, so like all this reflection in the water, I'm pretty sure is all half cross. So I think I may pull out that 22 count hardinger and use that for this. I've never used 5 strands but I mean, those are half cross, so I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. We'll try it. I could try it. I'll probably start up in the upper left-hand corner here and see how that goes. So 3 strands through, maybe it's 2. All the full cross are 2 strands, so it still might work. I don't know. What do you think? Do you think I could do 5 strand half cross through Hardinger? 22 count Hardinger? I'll have to think about that. But anyway, I'm hoping that I'll be able to restart that one. And then I have my ones that I spun my wheel on. So I'm going to keep going with, here we go, Halloween Quilt by Primrose Cottage. I got quite a bit done yesterday, on Monday. So I'm going to keep going, and I'm going to try to finish this week. I'm definitely over halfway done. So I've been working on this, which is why it's still in the hoop. So, which reminds me, I need to grab more 844 because I'm just about out. Yeah, so we're gonna keep going with this and try to fill this in. Yeah, and then maybe hopefully by the end of the video, I'll have a finish for you. My first finish on Flosstube. Yay. So we're gonna go with that. I'm also gonna go with, I don't have a picture here with me, but I'll pop it in right here. This is Penguins by, I'll put the name in here too because I don't remember. I started this one while I was up in Denver. Oh, and I still have that extra needle on here because I haven't, excuse me, I haven't picked this up since I showed down last week's Flosstube. But here's where I'm at. Not a lot. So I'm starting at the top. It's round, so I'm just gonna work my way down. It's gonna be bigger than this hoop, so I will have to move the hoop. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with that one. So hoping to get quite a bit done. At least maybe finish that blue. I don't know. We'll have to see. And then the last is, I'm going to start The Shores at Hawk Run Hollow. I'm having a hard time talking today. By Carriage House Samplings. I'm going to start with this one right here. I know everybody is doing this and everybody is starting there, so I apologize, but you know what? That's where I want to start. So I'm going to do this 1/1 on 28 count Lugana by Stitch Me in the color Ledger. I got this from Jen's Stitching Niche on Etsy. So I just thought that was a nice nautical, almost kind of like old map kind of look. A little bit blue for an old map, but still. So it's gonna be small. It's gonna be smaller than you've seen, the 2/2s. So, but you know, it's kind of, this would be the perfect size for me. Even if it's a little smaller, I think this would be the perfect size. So excited for that. I was so excited when I spun the wheel and it popped up because I had been wanting to start this for at least 6 months, maybe longer. So anyway, so I think I'm going to take Halloween Quaker downstairs and work on it a little bit, and I'll be back with some progress. Well, hello. It is Monday morning. I think it's about a week since the first part of this video. So I have just been working really, really hard on my Halloween quilts. And I have finished. Yay! So here is my finished Halloween quilt. I just like really buckled down. I was like, I want to finish this. I want to finish this. I enjoyed stitching this so much. But I was like, I've got to whip down. I've got to get some of these projects finished. So this was an easy one to finish, one that went decently quickly. And so, yeah, so I realized that I probably didn't say that I used the DMC conversion of this. It's charted in Weeks Dye Works, Classic Colorworks, or Weeks Dye Works and, excuse me, Classic Colorworks. But I used the, their DMC conversion. So yeah, the orange is a little darker than I probably would have picked for myself, but I don't know, I like it. I think it works. So yay. I did this on a 32 count Belfast linen, just like the natural linen, I think it's called. There's dog hair all over. And speaking of dog hair, there's so much dog hair in this. I'm gonna have to bring up my little lint roller that I got that works amazingly. And I'll link the lint roller below. I'll bring that up when I do my update for my next project. But yeah, so this being a finish is good news for you guys, other than those of you who like to live vicariously through other people's finishes like I do. But because I have this finished and I'm probably not going to stitch it ever again, it means that I am going to pay it forward and give this pattern to one of you guys. So stay tuned at the end for instructions on how to enter to win this. But that's always been my plan when I started this. When I have a physical copy of a pattern and I finish it, I want to gift it to you guys. So I will give instructions later on in the video for this. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to move on to start Cabin Fever by Dimensions, to restart it. So that's this one right here. I currently have it going on an 18 count Ivory Aida. And I'm actually going to restart it on a different 18 count Ivory Aida. I found a roll of Aida in my stash. It's huge. I'm gonna have to cut it down. It's so big. I was gonna bring it up and show you guys, but I totally forgot. So I am going to go ahead and restart this. Three Cats Stitching made a comment saying that she needed to work on hers, so I told her that if she started hers this weekend, I'd start mine. I don't know if she actually started it or not. I'm a bit behind on Flosstube. She's been doing a video every day, so I don't know if she showed it or not, but yeah, so I'm gonna restart out. I'm gonna restart in the upper left-hand corner up here. And yeah, we'll see how it goes. I will be back with an update on this. Well, hello. Okay, I am here with an update on Cabin Fever. I managed to restart it. So, I don't have the original piece up here, but I had this big roll of 18 count Ivory Aida, and I cut a piece the same size as the piece that came with the kit. Well, then I decided, well, I wanted to work in the upper left-hand corner. I was going to start up here and, you know, work my way out. Well, then I was like, well, how much of a margin do I need? So I looked in the packet that she gave me that has, this is the key. I have 2 copies of the key for some reason. And then the patterns in here along with some instructions. And I realized there are no dimensions in this. And so the dimensions kit does not have dimensions. And so I was like, well, how do I know how much of a margin I need to do? I don't even have a stitch count on here. And so, so I'm sitting here and I'm like, well, okay, the piece of fabric that came with the kit has to be big enough for the project. So, I was like, I'm gonna have to start in the middle. And so I did, which I mean, starting in the middle, fine, whatever. But like, I'm kind of worried about this now, but I'm gonna trust that, that the fabric that came with it was correct. And so, I don't know. So here's my piece of fabric, and I'm just gonna fold it over so that, because I keep forgetting to bring my board up. But here's where I got it. So, if you will look, this, I don't know if you can really tell, but in person, this top line and the bottom two lines of the purple look almost variegated. But that's because they're tweeted, taking two strands of two different shades of purple and putting them together. And so this is all half cross with 4 strands. So I started, let's see, I believe this was the center right there. So yeah, I started that, and then this purple, these two, sorry, I don't have my glasses on, I just looked out the window, and it looks like there's a family with a big dog that they're walking, and without my glasses, it looked like she was riding a pony. So I was like, what? Anyway, squirrel. So let's see if I can focus more on that. If I put it in front of my face, maybe it'll focus. I can't tell. I don't know. But anyway, this is, it looks kind of variegated, but it's actually tweeting. So, so yeah, got a stitch with a little bit of purple, which was exciting. I don't get to use purple that often. So, yeah, so I just moved up in here and was working on it. I worked on it for about an hour and a half. And I was like, I really need to, today's Monday. Today is my last stitching day of the week. I count my weeks Tuesday through Monday. So, I was like, I really need to get going on, you know, some of the stuff. So I think, next, I am not going to work on penguins. I'm going to take this out of the hoop and I'm going to put this in my project stash and pull it as I need it, because this is my second week trying to work on this, and I haven't gotten any further. So I'm going to put this in my stash, and then I'm going to work on The Shores of Hawk Run Hollow by Carriage House Samplings. So I'm going to start in this square right there, and I'm going to see how far I can get. I am stitching this on, oh, I gotta show you my bag. I keep forgetting to show you my project bag. This is cute. It's my first ever like actual project bag. If you don't count the one that my friend gave me for crocheting. This is like $3 at Hobby Lobby. It was on the bottom shelf. It's plastic, and it's got like a plastic little pull and like the plastic zipper. But I mean, it works. It's cute. So I'm gonna throw that in stash. So I'm going to go work on Shores of Hawk Run Hollow, and I will be back in about an hour with an update. And I'm back because I totally forgot to show you what I'm stitching it on, even though I'm sure you've already seen it. I am stitching this on 28 count. I think this is Belfast linen, by Bestitch Me in the color Ledger. And I got this from Jen's Stitching Niche on Etsy. So we're gonna do 1/1. I could be back in an hour and say, oh, this is fantastic, or I could come back crying. We'll see, only God knows. Okay, so I am back. I did about 90-ish minutes on Hawk Run Hollow. I kept getting, you know, just life kept getting interrupted. So I didn't get a ton done on it, but I got a little bit. So where's my paper? Here is where I was working. I started along the top border there. Just as a refresher, I'm doing this on 28 count Lugana. I know earlier I said linen. It's actually Lugana. I don't know where my brain went. But here's what I managed to get done. So this is the upper left hand corner and kind of brought it down and around. I had to put little, it's kind of hard to see on this. I had to put little marks kind of as a grid because I was just, with borders, I have the hardest time, I lose count. So this one, so I was marking with this light blue pen, and I also had my water soluble pen, and they were both sitting in my lap. And this one, so I marked the first little grid mark there. And I was like, well, I need the one where, because there's 9 stitches here and then 10 until you get to the end and there's 3. And I was like, well, I also need to mark my 9th stitch here. So I picked up a pen, marked it, and that's when I realized I marked it with my Pentel Flare pen. So I like wet my finger, you know, and rubbed it. And I think it almost kind of looks like the blue in the markings. I don't think anybody would notice, especially after these get all, after I wipe those off. But yeah, but so that's where I'm at with the shores of Hawk Run Hollow. So I am going to put this back in stash, and we'll see when it comes up next. I may decide that I just want to grab it and start working on it like I did with Halloween Quilt. All right, so that is everything for this week. Let's see, I have one tiny piece of haul, and I have a couple of other things that I want to show you. So first, I want to show you this lint roller I got. I'll link this below. I got this on Amazon. I paid $4 for it, and it's this, you open it up like this, and it's a sticky little roller here. And you're supposed to be able to just rinse it off, and the gunk will come off and it'll stay sticky. So other ones I saw were selling for like $10 for this exact same one, but this one was $4 for some reason. So I don't know, I just grabbed it, and it's like super gentle on projects. Like I was using on this one because there's so much dog hair in this. And while it doesn't get stuff that's like super, you know, like stuck in the hole and everything, but it will get stuff that's just laying on top. So, yeah, and that was my problem, was I just had a whole bunch of dog hair just laying on top, and it was getting stitched in. So, yeah, so I mean, this thing works pretty well. I wanted something that was a little bit easier than like the tape ones, but so I think this will work for now. So let me show you I want to show you guys my project book. This is kind of like, not really kind of book of days, but it's a project log. So I got this on Amazon as well. And it's really cool because you can count stitches if you want. It's got, you know, date started, finished. You can number your projects, the designer, sourced from, which I'm assuming means where you bought it. You know, finished size, final cost if you want to do all that. And then you can mark your coverage, what kind of stitches, what your stitch count is, the details of your fabric, how you're gonna FFO it. You can list your floss, you know, and track your project here. And then there's little, like, you know, grid lines for, you know, whatever, if you want to like sketch out a, I'll probably use this for my wordy birds because I think I'm going to change the phrases on those. So, you know, I'll probably sketch out, you know, what I want to say on here, and can just use this as my pattern. I do kind of keep track of stitch counts here. I need to go through and like, this is Cottage of the month, January. And I did, on December 13th, I did 106 stitches. December 29th, I did 74. So I'm just kind of keeping track that way. And then I also, on my full coverage pieces, I do the grid. And one of the reasons why I have to restart St. Michael is because I forgot which side of the grid I was stitching on. So, you know, on my 10 stitches either way, you know, what, you know, did I stitch on the grid line or did I stitch next to it, above it, below it, whatever. So on here, I mark where my stitches are. So I always use this as the 10th column. The grid line is always the 10th column for me. And then I have to decide, all right, is the top, am I stitching on the grid line or am I stitching on the bottom? And this one I decided I'm stitching on the bottom. It varies, which is why I have to put it in here. It's just whatever feels right for that project. So this one's for cabin fever, actually. I just did this. So yeah. So I have to make notes, otherwise I forget and have to restart the project. So, so I just thought this thing was cool. I don't remember, I'll link this below as well. I don't remember exactly how much it was. It was less than $10, I know that. All right, so let's go on to my haul. I just have the one piece. I'm part of the Heartland Quilting and Stitching, Country Cottage Needlework Monthly Mini Village Club. So I'm on the auto ship club. So I got May, and look at how cute that is. Let's see if it'll focus on it if I get my face out of there. Not really. All right, whatever. So it's cute. It's just a little spring village. Come on, can you focus, please? Please. My front camera is so terrible. It's really terrible. Focus is better out here. It doesn't focus up close that well. But anyway. So yeah, it's just, these are so tiny. Like even just looking at it, I kind of have a hard time seeing it. But there are some bluebirds on the roof with some bees going around, and then you have your little people, which I think I already said that I'm gonna chart my dog instead of the little people. So I also need to figure that out too. You guys have seen her, she's a tricolor Cavalier King Charles Spaniel. So she has these brown eyebrows, this white spot going down her, in between her eyes. She has a brown and white and black face, like, so it's going to be interesting figuring out how to chart her, but I'm going to figure it out. I'm not going to start these anytime soon, I don't think. I need to finish up my monthly cottages first. And then maybe I'll have this be my floss mess thing like I did last year. Excuse me. So yeah, so anyway, that was my tiny bit of haul. So let's talk Halloween quilt. So I said earlier that I want to give this to one of you guys. you know, just like, you know, it's typical. You know, don't use win giveaway, anything like that, because last thing we need is a bunch of bots cluttering up the comment section. So, so what I'd like for you to do is drop an emoji, drop a Halloween emoji, or if, you know, you're on your computer, don't do emojis or whatever. Tell me about your favorite costume that you had, or yeah, tell me about your favorite Halloween costume that you've ever had, or one that you're planning on. So if you don't do Halloween, I mean, I'm assuming if you don't do Halloween, you don't want this. But, you know, otherwise, I guess, you know, if you don't do Halloween, tell me what your favorite kind of candy is. How about that? So anyway, I'm excited to see who wins this. I'll probably wait. I'll do the draw. What's today? So let's do the drawing on April 30th, or whatever that video is, the last week in April. Give you guys a little bit of time to see these videos, because I know there's a lot of Flosstube out there to watch. And yeah, I'm so excited to be able to give this away to one of you guys. So this one was so much fun to stitch. Love this. And I don't know if I mentioned, but this is my first finish of the year. So yay! So I'm so excited. I'm not going to start anything new. Well, that's not true. I do have one planned that I'm going to start, but you'll see my reasons for that. Once I get that all kitted up and everything. So it'll probably be a little while. But anyway, so let's see. So if you're just here for stitching, thank you so much. Your support means so much to me. If you enjoyed this video, please drop me a like, maybe hit that subscribe button. But thank you so much for joining me. For those of you interested in, you know, kind of just me jabbering on. I don't really have a life update. Like, I don't know, life is the same every day. Yeah, we have our, I'm working with a choir and orchestra up in Denver, and we have worship services just about every other month. And I've been doing the admin work for that, and so that's a lot of fun. And so I just have a ton of stuff to do for that. The director has boxes and boxes and boxes of printed music. He has a hangar up at Centennial Airport. He has a plane, and it also serves kind of as storage. So he's got a lot of music in there, and we decided, well, you know, we really, because the way we're doing this, we're sending out PDFs of the music. Like I put together a packet of music and I send it out to all choir and orchestra. And so we really need to get all that stuff scanned in. So we bought a big printer scanner. And so I'm working on getting all that stuff scanned in. So I have a ton to do. So even though we get a break from rehearsals and the services, I don't get a break from administrative work. So yeah, but I mean, I love it. This is like my thing. Absolutely love it. So anyway, and then I'm gonna hit pause because I need to go get a book, because I kind of need to eat a little crow. Sort of, not really, but just a little bit. So hold on one sec. Okay, so do you all remember the rant I went on about this book? Of course you do. And how the author was just, that I did not like this book, we'll put it that way. And I was thinking, I was like, maybe it's the author, I don't know. But then I realized that I had already read A Murder, She Wrote by the same author, which is Killing in a Koi Pond. And look at this. I hate how they do this. Like, come on, people. Can we just keep them the same size, please? But anyway, so read this one and loved it. loved it. It wasn't as like, you know, it wasn't as wordy as this other one was. Like, this one is unnecessarily wordy in its descriptions. This one is not. This one's actually pretty good. So I don't know if there's different editors on this one, or if it was just a one-off, or I don't know if it says who the editor was on here. You know, or if it was just, no, they're both published by Berkeley, both same publisher, Penguin House. But I don't know, but I liked this one. So I'm gonna go into her next one with a very open mind, hoping that's more like this one than it is like this one. So I do have to, so it's just the book that I didn't like, not necessarily the author at this point. So we'll see. I don't know what it was, but anyway, I just had to correct it, because I don't want, like, you know, to say that I hated somebody's writing when historically, well, or before, I have actually liked it. So I don't know, still like Donald Bain better, I think, but I mean, that one was good. So I don't know. Anyway, so I think that's it for me. I'm gonna get this uploaded. I'm gonna go take a shower and go to bed. So thank you guys so much for, if you stayed to the end here, thank you so much for that. Your report does mean a lot. Your support means a lot, and I really appreciate it. And I hope you guys have a fantastic week until we chat again. Mwah.